Hello and welcome to the Mix Hair Rap Podcast. I'm your host, DJ B Wise. This is a podcast we talk about hip hop from boom bap to trap. We're a group of hip hop enthusiasts from multiple eras trying to bridge the gap in hip hop. You know, I'm here with my man Kev is in the building. You know, he's our resident background legend. You know, he's all about the underground. And we coming at y'all tonight with the discussion, and that is Kendrick Lamar's diss, Euphoria. So let's get into it. You can always, you can follow us on social media. All right, Kev, how you doing tonight?
Let's get it.
We're gonna jump straight into it, man. Boy, 50 push-ups was a good diss track. I enjoyed it. I thought that we talked about it. We thought it was worthwhile. We The thing I like most is what we do here as far as curating your sound is we try to not be the first but be the one with the most educated opinions, most objective opinions, because we wait, consume the information, and then try to come back with something strong. So, man, I'm gonna start off with my opinion, and then we're gonna definitely delve into some of the stuff we've heard, some opinions we've seen, and go from there. And then we'll put some questions up about where we are in this whole thing, this whole diss thing. And first thing I like to say is, I'm not even gonna say that these are true disses, more so objective opinions, because both of the artists in their disses have not told the truth in its full breath. So I don't know if I can fully call it a diss. They've both been very interesting. If you are if you're a Drake stan, we know where you stand at, and if you love Kendrick, we know where you stand at. So here we go with our opinions, and it's just tough, man. This is a tough situation. If you're thinking on the basis of a DJ, this ain't it. If you're thinking on the base of somebody who likes rap, this Euphoria is not it. But if you're thinking on the base of someone who loves hip hop and the art form of hip hop, then this is for you. What Kendrick was able to put together through his production, through his wordplay, through his vocal tone changes, it was impressive. It was what artistry is supposed to be. But we're gonna delve further into the people who like rap and DJs as we go along in this conversation. So Kev, your thoughts on our man Kendrick's Euphoria?
Initial thoughts. I think that it was good because the reaction did what it was supposed to do. It got the attention. It sparked more debate. It it generated interest across all levels. Cameron and Mace, even though they do a sports show and they still talk about rap, they jumped into it. So anytime they can kind of jump into something outside of sports, it has an effect. It's doing what it's supposed to do. You got all types of media. They're sitting there that dissecting the lyrics and saying this is what this means and this is where he got this from. And I think so many people are excited to see Kendrick Lamar reply back to J. Cole, to Drake, and he created a song that can compete what came out already. I think we're going to talk later. The good and the bad, and who's winning at the moment. But I mean, right now, attention wise, it's it's hard to go against Kendrick. Like, I had this conversation last night with my daughter, and you know, she loves the song, but I told her, I was like, when you really sit back and think about it, there's no clear number one right now. You got about 30% that say Drake, another 30 that's gonna say Cole, and another 30 that's gonna say Kendrick. So to have the big three, which we kind of we're accepting, we're accepting at the fact that there are three individuals that can have the top spot right now. To have those three just in this public competition, I think is great. It's great for the fans. It's great for just the music as a whole, and it's great to know that these three can do these so-called diss records, and we know nothing else is going to come of it. We know there's not going to be any hands thrown, nobody getting shot. We don't have to worry about no acts of violence from what's going on, and I think that's what makes this so beautiful is that you don't have to be afraid or you don't have to be worried about the impact from the music that they're making. So let's just say, I think that's what we should go with. I think that should be leading or ending all conversations when it comes to who's winning this is that we know it's not going to get violent, and I think that's a huge plus for rap music as a whole, because in the 80s rap dissing was just rap dissing. It might have led to some fights, but I mean, throwing hands and shooting guns, what came about in the mid to late 90s, is two totally different things. And I mean, to be truthful, the escalated violence, it happened, but it wasn't big as people thought. And for people to sit back and think that two rappers beefing was going to escalate to something else was disheartening, and it really took away from the competition between the two, because that's all it is at the end of the day. It's just competition. It's you know like another thing I told my daughter was that these guys, it don't matter what you think about them, everybody wants to be considered the best. You have three artists who have a legit case to state to be number one. Any of the three can give you reasons why they should be number one, but there's no clear cut number one. So there has to be some sort of competition. And that's where we're at now. So let's see who wins.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. So now we got to push forward on this and and try to break down, what highlights we saw in this production, because again, I think delving into the art, the artist or the celebrities who have mentioned things, I think they've all been extremely reasonable, except for Gilly. I think Gilly saying that the Euphoria track was cornball, that's a bit much. It may not be his taste, but I think that it is a work of art that needed a fair, objective explanation or opinion.
I
And
don't but you know what though? I'm not gonna say that the song was as bad as Gilly made it, but I can't say Gilly's opinion is wrong. I think that like when you look at if you look at Taylor Made Freestyle, the Taylor Made Freestyle and the 7 minute drill, even though both songs have been pulled, I don't know if this song is better than either of those two.
so again,
This song might be on par with Push Ups, which was I mean, this song is better than Push Ups. It's better than Push Ups.
it's better than push-ups.
It's better than Push Ups, but I don't know if it's better than 7 minute drill or Taylor Made Freestyle. I can't say that legitly. I
So
can't say
then,
this was better than them, but I get your point. Your point, you have an excellent point, but I can't disagree with Gilly's point,
no,
and
I'm
that's
totally
all I'm
with you.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
can't
totally with
disagree with
you.
this point. I
I
can't
got
disagree with
you.
this point. It wasn't, and I think that for Gilly to say that, I think a lot of people are going to misunderstand that Gilly was saying that this was a love tap instead of a left hook, because the way Kendrick Lamar presents it, as a matter of fact, the way Kendrick Lamar rapped in the last verse, you would have expected more. I mean, a lot of people love the fact he used three different beats. Me personally, I wish it'd have been three different songs. Honestly, I think that if he turns this song into a video, and if the video was done right, I think it would elevate the song more. Cause I mean, like I'm listening to it, and the only thing in my mind, and I'm taking to effect my thoughts and feelings on the song. I'm taking effect everyone's views on the song, and and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I was disagreeing with a lot of stuff in the beginning, but having that conversation with my daughter, and my mind started to change a little bit, and I started to look at the song in a different way. I just started picturing what the video could look like, and I think that's one of the things today, in today's diss rap or battle rap or however you want to say it. The one thing that is missing is the video. Third Base, I think Third Base did a video where they diss MC Hammer. They had an MC Hammer diss. The Duck Down guys, they had a video where they diss Biggie. The Roots had a video where they diss Biggie. Tupac, he had a video where he diss Biggie. Hey, I'm not trying to diss Biggie or nothing. I'm just saying these are things that was happening. So an artist would create a diss record, and that diss record would start to get some buzz. But when that video dropped, it enhanced the diss record, and I think that's one of the things that's missing today. I think if Kendrick dropped the video to this song, I think this song will propel into top 10 diss records of all time. If he made a video for this song, this could be a top 10 diss record.
I definitely think that the visuals would help, but again, man, it's we're in a tough space here where it's how you look at it, and we're gonna keep delving into this. I had just brought up I thought 50 Cent gave a very reasonable opinion about the beef that's going on. I thought that Rhapsody gave a good interpretation of what she thought the beef was. I found through listening over the last 2 days that not Kendrick, but J. Cole has lost more footing than I think you and I expect.
Said that J. Cole was going to fall because of the apology.
Yes, you did. But I'm saying I think it's worse than you or I expected. Like,
I don't think it's worse. I don't think it's worse per se.
okay,
And I think people's opinions might make it worse. But
okay,
when I think all three artists have flaws. All
yeah,
three artists have huge flaws. Have All three artists have flaws that's keeping them from being a bona fide number one, right?
yep,
And the flaws in J. Cole are the reason why people are starting to doubt him. The apology didn't help. The apology didn't help at all, and I don't think that. I don't think. See, the problem with the apology is you can't enter into. You probably can't enter into what's going on right now. And I think that one of the things that I think the three of them need to sit down behind closed doors and figure out what's off limits in your responses, because I think J. Cole is too afraid to say something that might cause another apology, right?
yeah. I'm with you. I think that he's the peacekeeper amongst the two. Unfortunately,
But it's not about a peacekeeper. But it's like there's nothing that's going to happen, and even I'll say this: my biggest negative for this song, he showed a lot of love. It's not, and it's like, how can you call this a diss record when half the
hmm
record he's showing love? It was very friendly. He said
exactly,
something like, "I love you guys. I pray that we are friends after this is over." It's
exactly.
always about the love. What are you talking about? Like, it's totally obvious. I mean, you know, I believe my opinion, don't know this for a fact, but I believe that Cole and Kendrick talked. And like I said on this show, I believe
Mhm.
that Kendrick called Cole and said that 7 minute was too rough or you went too far. But listening to this Kendrick song, it's like, well, damn, is Drake in on the group chat or something? It make it seem like Drake is in on the group chat. So it's kind of like, what are you talking about? It's it's too friendly. And I'm not saying that, you know, you got to hit below the belt or something like that, but you talked about in 1 minute you said all of y'all are friends, and then the next minute you say he don't raise his son right. That don't make sense to me. It's confusing, and maybe I'm looking too far into it though. But it was elements of it that was confusing, and that's why I just can't see where people were saying that this is a death blow to Drake or this song is so phenomenal. Like I just can't. It's I don't know. Me personally, I know what I would have loved to see, and I think it could have been more than what it was, but it's not bad though. It's not bad.
Again, I'm with you on that. I would tell you that Breakfast Club, Charlemagne thinks that it's genius. Envy's like us. He's kind of riding the fence. Just hilarious. She enjoyed it. Ebros, peeps, everybody likes it. But again, you're talking about older people who like hip hop, who love hip hop. Let me not say like, who love hip hop. So we're going to dissect it. And I have my lyrics pulled up here, ready to go. We're going to get into that as we move, but we really have to work our way through this song. So again, conversations with youth, I've heard them say, the ones who have some understanding of lyricism, they're like, the lyrics were deaf. They were deaf. They were cold as ice. They were able to really get that feeling of, oh, so yeah, the ones who had thought into it. Unfortunately, that's not the majority. So I've spoken to a few 20-year-olds, some 30-year-olds, and they're like, it's not for me.
But I think it goes
Cooper.
back to one of the early points you made. This is a this is a homer battle or a fan based battle. So Kendrick fans are going to, stand on the roof and scream out, "This is the best diss ever." Drake fans are going to say, "It was it was a ripple. It was a ripple in the ocean." That's Drake. And J. Cole fans are going to say, wait till he writes. He's going to write something that's going to tear this apart." So you're going to get these different opinions on it. So I mean, overall, it's not a bad song, but it's the hype. It's the hype surrounding the song. And but no matter how you feel, you have to appreciate the hype, even if you think that the hype is more than deserved. We have to give credit to the hype. We have to give credit to the media coverage. We have to give credit to the dissecting of the lyrics because we don't get that too much.
Yeah.
We don't get it too much. It's not like, you know, we don't have the type of artists today in rap that can generate people breaking down the lyrics, what was said, why it was said, and all that. Like, you could probably go on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, and there are people who are going bar by bar, giving, 6 7 minute dissertations on each bar. So I think that's phenomenal. And I think that every time whoever is the current person with the disc is going to get all the attention. They're going to get all the recognition, and that's what should happen. You should whoever's out, whoever has the most current disc should get the most attention because they're putting in the work. And I mean, let's be fair. Let's be if we want to be let's be real fair. Each disc is actually sounding good, from what we have going on in the current climate, from Kendrick's verse on the Future song. It was good. It sounded good. To I don't know about Rick Ross. Rick Ross is the only one that's like, I don't know. I'll reserve judgment on Rick Ross, but Rick Ross did enough. Rick Ross did enough to where a lot of people didn't really say he was whack, and I think that Rick Ross didn't get a lot of negative attention is because of what he said about Drake. So Kendrick, Ross, Cole, Drake's response, and now Kendrick again. Everything hasn't, you know, the majority have said good, 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 good across the board. And I think that when you have the majority of the reactions that are pointing to the direction of good, that is a beautiful thing. And it's us the fans, we have to appreciate it. No matter what side you stand on, no matter if you think the songs are good or not, you have to appreciate the fact that the majority are saying that they're all good. And we don't get that. We know this is one of the rare moments, if the first time that we've had this, where so many disc records are out at one time, and enough people can say everything's good. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that.
No doubt. I think that rap is in such a weird space that everyone is appreciative of something that brings us closer to where the art was at a certain time.
Well, I can't
Again,
say that. I
you
can't say
can't?
that. No,
Okay.
I can't say that. I can't say that because I think that I don't think the history of rap has been discussed enough. Cause like let's go back. If we go back to the origins of rap, or what was it? It was party music. It wasn't about lyrics. It really wasn't about lyrics. It was, we go back until, to the early 70s. It was about other people's music.
Mhm.
And then when you hit the mid 70s, the DJs, they were a little bit more vocal, and it was made, and a lot of it was shout outs and call and responses.
Yeah.
You could throw in a few, slick lines here and there, but until you hit what, 70, 75, 76, that's when you really had, you know, the disco songs. It wasn't a singing. You had a disco beat, but you wasn't singing over it. And it was the disco beat because everybody was so used to these house parties and these block parties, and it was the party. Everything was about the party. Whatever you could, if you couldn't rock a crowd, then you shouldn't be there. And now that's the part I think that's missing. Rocking a crowd, you know? But I mean, overall, it was about having fun. It was about the party records. I mean, even Curtis. I mean, the first rap hit was a party record. It was "Basketball" by Curtis Blow. So, I mean, the breaks by Curtis Blow. I mean, right after that, the next rap. I mean, I don't want people to. I want people to understand that what the Sugar Hill Gang did was great, but it didn't sell a lot of records. The first gold record in hip hop was "The Breaks" by Curtis Blow, and then like follow behind him, that's when it became more lyrical because the next big hit after him was The Message, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. But their focus was on rocking the party though. That's what I'm trying to say. Their focus was on rocking the party.
Sylvia at Sugar Hill, she's a disco lady. She's an R&B. She's
Right.
the R&B president of R&B label. So she understands that there is a rumbling under this type of music in the community and at clubs and stuff. So she's trying to, utilize that to get ROI out of it. And she did.
Well, let me say this. I'm not going to say that there was no lyricism in the mid to late 70s. What I'm just saying is that the type of music that was pushed to help elevate rap was party music.
Exactly. Exactly.
Party music was pushed until till the message went national.
Exactly.
When the message went national, then it was like, oh, okay, we can bring about this other stuff. But up until that point, up until like what was it, 80? I think the message came out in 80 or
81.
81.
81.
81.
Yeah.
So from we're saying the Cool Herc party in what 73?
73.
73 to 81, party rap was pushed. So we're somewhat kind of following the original rap's motto, even though even you could feel how you want about Sexy Red or Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or who or name after name after name, but they have these radio hits. They have these songs that are probably being played in the clubs, and that's what rap was kind of built on, those party hits. So where we're at now, it's I don't I think that I think so many people have this view of rap, and it's not a bad view, but people think that if you're not writing your own music, or if your music is not saying something, are you really rapping per se? And we don't have no criteria, but that's something we've been saying since we started the show. Like, there's no really rap criteria to really judge the music, and it's a lot of people giving their thoughts, opinions, and views, and it's kind of, we're having these debates, but it's kind of like the debates is based on your views, they're based on your opinion, and half the people that's having these debates have no idea about the history of rap, or you know what rappers, the standard in the 80s, the standard in the 80s. I will say this. I'll give you credit for this. I think the standard from the 80s couldn't fly today in 2024. Now, I'll say that. But I mean, overall, rap has always been evolving. It's always been evolving. It's always been changing. It always has always looked different, and it always should sound different. It always should look different. But I think we need as fans and for the artists themselves, I think we need a criteria for what's best. What's best, because rap is not judged the same way as other music is judged. And I think that's, I don't know if it's good or bad. I really don't know. But rap is not judged like other types, and I don't really know how to, which way to go with it though.
No, I totally get you. We're gonna move past this. I just want to say I get when you say that it's ever evolving, but again, this art form, this culture was developed to save youth. So the party records that we talk about from the beginning was so that young people who grew up in these dilapidated communities could have a sense of life, of joy, so that they could not think about the despair of their community for a few hours, the despair of their lives and the poverty that they were growing up in for a few years. And that's why I say that I am a child of hip hop. The Cool Hercs and them were in their 20s when I was in my elementary school days, and I know for a fact that I was a straight knucklehead, but listening to Rapper's Delight made me want to do something different in life. I'm not going to say be a rapper, But instead of me taking a pipe to school so I could hit somebody in the head to keep myself safe, I was more about, hey, this thing called rap, man. Let's talk about it. What do you think? And it actually helped grow the togetherness of my community. Instead of us fighting one another, we ended up speaking with one another. And I just want to keep it at that and move on to these lyrics. And I got, I know Kev has listened to it multiple times, so I'm gonna let him go in on this first. What was your favorite lyric from this track, or favorite lyrics with an S?
I liked the intro part. Or I guess it's called the intro where he had that slow jam. And I gotta find that song. I want to say it's the OJ's. Something's telling me it's Teddy Pendergrass. Okay, that Teddy Pendergrass sample and how he just flowed on it. Honestly, I wish he would have stayed in that lane. I wish he would have stayed with that slow jam and rapped the song off of that. I think it would have been a lot better and it'd been a lot more impactful. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. I liked how it seemed so poetic. It seemed like he was going to. It was just poetic, and it was very. It just. I don't know. It was just something about it. It was something about it that I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be good. But then it switched up, and I was just like, all right, I gotta listen to it again. But that first listen, I was stuck on that. I was just stuck on that intro part with that slow Teddy Pendergrass sample. That's the part I like. The first part of the song.
So what about the backwards? The backwards.
But
Why
you
is
know
his
what
name
though?
escaping me at this moment? That's my age, people. His
It's
name,
it's it's the Richard Pryor from the Wiz.
yes, Richard Pryor from the Richard Pryor show. Him saying, yeah, the backwards part of it. That was
Um.
powerful. He kept hitting us with these double and triple entendres, and I
Well.
knew that he would probably do this, but I think that some of it was unnecessary. And I would say, you guys can hate on me, but I could say that playing this backwards was a bit over the top as far as artistry. Yeah, it's creative, but everything creative is not necessary.
But you know what's the messed up part about that is when you so it depends on which part of the scene from the movie you play because Richard Pryor said two things. Some people said is one and some people said is other. So some people think it's I really messed up is the clip and then other people think is everything is true clip. So you got to watch you got to watch a good portion of the clip and figure out which part was played backwards at the beginning of that song. But like I said earlier, man, you know, dissecting this song is so monumental for hip hop as a or just rap music as a whole. Rap music as a whole, and even the rap fans, just trying to figure out what was said, like you just said, why he put it there. I get what you're saying. Only problem I have is that I don't know which part of the Richard Pryor scene is being said. That's the only thing I don't know. The everything is true part, I would love it if it's that because it makes sense. But the I'm really messed up part doesn't make sense. So I don't know. It's confusing to me. And this is one of those times I wish I didn't really look at a lot of the different media coverage or social media or just random reactions to the song because it kind of takes away that mystique or that just what happened type of thing. Sometimes I like to be surprised and don't know. I don't have to know everything. Just me personally. I don't have to know everything. But knowing that it could be one of two things, it it it's confusing. It's confusing. It don't take nothing away from it. It's just confusing. But I get your point though.
So we're actually both wrong. I was wrong saying it was from Richard Pryor's show,
It's from the
and
Wiz. I said it's from the
it's from
Wiz.
yeah, it's from the yes, you were correct on that, but you're
Right.
not correct on what it says. What it says is everything they say about me is true. I'm a phony. Those are the
Right.
lyrics.
I'm a phony.
I'm a phony. So again, we all know the overall part of this particular diss is that Drake is a phony. He is not what real people in hip hop are wanting or about, and that he and his team have used the manipulation of algorithms of production to get people to buy his product. I'm not here to tell you that they're wrong. I'm here to tell you that what he's doing is successful. And we are in a state of hip hop where success is everything. Being so basically the same thing when Nas and Jay-Z were on their thing. Nas has never sold as many albums as Jay-Z, nor will he never sell as many albums as Jay-Z has sold. It just is what it is. Jay-Z was the people's champ because his team understood people don't want to hear heavy lyricism in the club. They want to hear some catchy one-liners. They want to hear some, some maybe one or two double entendres and keep it moving. I mean, keep it moving. Now let's not get into the part about our boy. You were just talking about not Mace, but what's his partner name? Not Mace.
Cameron.
Cameron doing his Instagram post about Jay-Z stealing everybody's lines. Big L, so many, he stole so many people's lines in his music. So let's not get into that. I just want to say that, it's how you approach hip hop. Hip hop is subjective, not objective. We are trying to curate your sound objectively so that if you are interested in hip hop, not rap, at least in my opinion, again, Kev is a legend in the game and he has his own opinion, but what I'm trying to do is curate your sound to what real hip hop is. So you're going to always hear me promote what I believe real hip hop is. So
I mean, but I, I think, but I think that goes back to what I was saying. What's the criteria? Because I'll go back to the conversation I had with my daughter yesterday, and I'm gonna quote her on this. She said, "Is Drake really a rapper?" And she was like, "You can't say that." She said, "Drake is more of an entertainer than he is a rapper."
mhm.
And my answer to her was, "Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing that he's doing wrong." Now, here's the kicker: if an entertainer could challenge for the number one spot with two lyricists, what does that say about the two lyricists? Now you could say the fans this, the algorithm this, the payola this. You could say whatever you want. You could and all that stuff might be true, but at the end of the day, skills should override everything else. Just like you sat here and said about Nas and Jay Z. You just said Nas would never sell as many records as Jay Z did, but Nas was able to take real lyricism. Not to say Jay Z is not a lyricist, but Nas was to take his best attribute. That's what he's known for, which is lyricism. He went at the top guy, and many believe he beat the top guy. Right?
Yeah.
So why isn't Drake? I mean, why is Kendrick and J. Cole not doing that? Because Drake has something that they don't have. Drake has a certain it factor that those two are missing on. And it's not to say they don't have it. It's not being displayed. But I don't think that the fact that, like it was like like something Kendrick said in the song was, I hate now you talk about busting guns, but you ain't never killed nobody.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And okay, Drake is, starting to be more aggressive in his lyrics. It's probably to try to prove a point, or he wants to show he can compete. And he's kind of stepping out of what we know him for, but it's still charting. It's still successful. And I'm not saying Kendrick is wrong, but Drake's ability to create hits is undeniable. I don't think there is a rapper in history that is a bigger hit maker than Drake. Now we can get into the ghostwriting thing if you want to, but and I'm starting not to like that knock on Drake about him being a ghostwriter, because I feel like if you can write all these hits for Drake, write these monumental hits for somebody else. Like, it's not the fact you're writing top 10 hits for other people. Drake has like a long list of number one records. Like I think his last three albums with a whole album charted. Nobody else in no genre of music is doing that. Nowhere else in music has you seen that. Like even Taylor Swift, what,
No,
13,
Taylor Swift has charted her whole album.
14 for no,
No,
not every
she's
song, not as high as Drake, not as high as Drake. Drake had one at one time. Well, one of these last three albums, Drake had 1 through 14. Taylor Swift ain't never had that. She might have had all her songs fall in the top 10. Drake had the top 14 spots off the album before the one with 21.
yes,
I
yes.
don't think I don't think Taylor Swift has had
Campaign Poppy
every
album.
I don't think Taylor Swift has had every song one through the last song of the album. I don't think she ever done that. But even if she did, Drake on the level with Taylor Swift is dynamic. It's dynamic. Drake is on the level with Taylor Swift and Beyonce right now. I think it's great. I think what Drake doing is great. It doesn't. I don't think Drake shows that rap is a viable contender to all the other genres of music, and that's why I think it's so great what he's doing.
I'm totally with you. I don't disagree with you. And her 1989 album, the entire album charted. And
Oh, in consecutive order.
yes, her entire album charted. And it
And
sold 14 million. It went diamond. So,
how
but
many?
here's the thing about
Okay,
current, here's the thing, the last 8 years of music, 8 to 9 years of music since streaming, we have to take it with a grain of salt. Universal, as well as who is Taylor's company? Who's Taylor Swift's record company? And once we get this, I'll have a lot. I'll be able to finish. Her record label is okay. Okay, so there you have it. They're both on Universal. I'm telling you, the big five record companies, whether we want to believe it or not, and I don't mind being a conspiracy theorist person, I believe they're able to manipulate the streams for those artists that they want to keep going. So yeah, I mean, the conspiracy theory thing, I get it. And all I'm saying is that we do have to take it with a grain of salt. Even Joe Buttons has said it. What you see, don't believe your lying eyes when it comes to streams today. And again, don't get me wrong. I think everything that Drake is doing is important and necessary for what music is today. What I will concede to what Kendrick is saying is that you are able to manipulate the masses. Why not take an opportunity to manipulate them in a way that may move the the culture forward instead of backwards? Because we're running down a hill as far as where we are as a culture.
little Kendrick doing that's moving things forward or even generating any kind of impact? Like if we want to say who's been the most influential out of these three, I might have to say Drake. I mean, artists. I mean, are the rappers today more likely to do these heartbreaking down tempo love songs? Yes, that's Drake's forte right there. That's Drake's forte. Or matter of fact, we just I mean, me and Reaper, we was just going back and forth on the group chat.
Mhm.
He was just saying how where are the Fabulouses? Who's the next person that's gonna pick up the Fabulous torch and make these songs that can appeal to the women, or it's just a nice song. It's not talking about drugs. It's not talking about just sex. It's Fabulous can do a song and be like, you know what, my girl made me mad. I need to leave for a minute before it escalate. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody can relate to it.
No
Nice
doubt.
song. Is not sad or nothing problematic. We don't have that. Like it's just I don't know. It's just like it's like we're at this. And as much as I hate to say this, I can kind of admit we are kind of at a standstill. So many artists kind of pick up on what the person did previously. If it's auto tune, a lot of them will use auto tune. A lot of them will talk about being high. A lot of them will talk about being depressed. A lot of them will talk about sex, shake your ass songs. It's a lot of familiar, right?
Yes.
But like I said, I'll go back to the conversation I had with Reaper. It's like, but what's next? And we always had this conversation on the show. It's like, okay, what's next? It's like we've heard all this type of music. What's next? And
Mhm.
now we have three artists who's kind of giving us something we rarely see. Yeah, it's diss songs, but at the same time, it feels new because we don't see it. But what's going to happen though? What's going to happen now? Like I said, I'll go back and say the same thing with the Future when Kendrick dropped the Future. If there's no album or there's no plan of an album, it's kind of like, you dropped the Future verse, nothing. If none of those people would have replied to the Future verse, we wouldn't have Euphoria, and that's what sucks. Euphoria should have been ready to go after that Future verse. To be honest with you, I mean, he drops the Future verse. J. Cole drops a whole mixtape, whole bunch of subliminals through the mixtape, but then he finally addresses what he says at the end. Drake drops what? Drake been dropping what he dropped like what? Anywhere from 2 to 5 diss songs. He talked about Kendrick. I think he talked about Ross and another one. I mean, he's been dropping music, and all Kendrick did was give us one reply. Is that enough?
And again, that goes to, do you like the current algorithm where the machine can put out diss tracks daily? Or do you like art? Because when you were growing up, when you were really in love with hip hop, artists were not putting out songs every 60 days, every 90 days, every 6 months. Every year, you did not get an album from an artist.
I mean, but at the same time, it's a totally different landscape of life then to now. Be like back then, we didn't have the internet. You found out about new artists 2 ways. Well, a number of ways. It was either the radio. Somebody lucked up and got a song played on the radio. You might have lucked up and got a spot in the magazine, or the record store said you are similar to X artist.
Mhm.
So it was different. So if you released the album in January, you might play that album for 2 years because you're trying to drum up buzz on you as an artist, but at the same time, you're touring that album. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yes.
had to go. You had to go all around to all these different cities. You had to go to these different cities. You had to establish fan bases in each market you was going to. You was establishing fan bases and building relationships everywhere you was going, and everything took time. So you going on the road, people think of, you go to, you play a show Monday, you play another show Wednesday, you play another show Friday and Saturday. No, these artists will go to the show will go to a city at the first of the month to drum up business for that show they played in the middle of the month, probably, because the chances are no one in that town knew who they were. So in order for you to make money off your show, you had to build up relationships. You had to build up a fan base in about 2 to 3 weeks. So you might be in a city for damn near a month trying to get support. So if you had a 14 city tour, it might have lasted you a year. It was nothing for it to last a year.
I think you're correct if you're talking about late 80s. By the 90s,
But you said but you said when we fell in love. It by the fact of the 90s, it was different. It was
yeah, by
different.
the
You had
90s, you were able to run across the country as far as your music with payola, and the record companies could get your music on the air so quickly that I mean, I remember once Wu-Tang hit Jack the Rapper, they were everywhere. They were everywhere. They
right.
were not just an East Coast thing. They were West Coast. They were South. Wu-Tang just spread like wildfire.
I mean,
And I'll
but
say the same thing for the Brat. When the Brat hit Jack the Rapper, when Redman hit Jack the Rapper, and all these artists from all these producers and record company execs saw them, it spread. And as
I
well as
mean,
radio people as well, radio personalities.
but it's not like today. It's totally different than today. It's
No doubt. No doubt.
rap. A lot of the rappers didn't become stars until their second and third albums, as opposed to today. You could become a star for your first album. NWA dropped in Straight Outta Compton wasn't their first album. Straight Outta Compton was their second album.
But that
They had to
wasn't the same
generate
lineup.
buzz,
It
huh?
wasn't the same line. It wasn't the same lineup.
It doesn't matter. It was
It
still
does
NWA the
matter. The
group.
lineup when you change a lineup like that, that's what, and they figured out what was working. Their first lineup, same thing with Ghetto Boys. Ghetto Boys' first two lineups didn't work. It took
They
a
didn't.
third lineup to make it work.
But look how long it took them, like you just said, it took them 3 albums to blow up nationally.
Yes, yes.
Took them 3 albums to blow up nationally.
But
And
again, we're talking 80s. Again, we're talking
right,
80s.
but
Both
you
of these
you're
groups
talking
are
about
80s.
what okay, so what
Wu
decade was
Tang
you
is
talking about though?
90s.
So
Wu
what
Tang is
decade what
90s.
what decade were you talking about then?
As far as what as far as what's concerned.
When you were saying how, when we fell in love
I'm
and
thinking for when I was saying when you fell in love because of your age range, I would consider myself an 80s baby as far as hip hop is concerned. I fell in love with hip hop in the 80s. So based on your age, I was thinking you fell in love with hip hop in the 90s when music moves much faster.
but I
Once
was I was
Luke
buying music in the
Skywalker
80s.
was able to get music moved quickly, because that's what Luke did, and Luke was the precipice to get you to Master P.
Right, but
Master
but
P
but,
was
but what I'm
able to
saying is
grow
that
because of Luke.
it was different. We didn't have internet. We didn't have internet back then.
I
So
understand that, but you had music traveling at a much faster pace. You could you in Richmond, California, P was able to get music halfway around the country within a 3 to 4 week period. And then when he had a hit and
but
that
that
hit
was off
caught
his third
fire,
album though. Master P didn't go national to his third album.
and I get it. But
Right. But
if
it
you
was still
listen
it
to
was
his first two albums, there was a reason why he didn't go national
I
until
mean
that third album.
that's opinion. I think that's opinion. I'll be honest with you. I think it's
I
opinion.
The only reason I'm not saying it's opinion is because his first two albums didn't have singles. What we can agree on and move forward with is that singles, music that impresses the masses, is important. That's what makes Drake important.
Okay.
That's what makes G
I'll
Herbo
give you that.
important.
I'll give you
So
that. I'll give you that.
that's okay. So again, I grasp.
I mean, well,
What
I'll give you the singles part. I'll give you the singles part, but I still think that the way people consume music today was totally different than it was back then. Just like you
I'm not
said, music.
disagreeing with that. I'm not
But
disagreeing with
you
that.
said that, but you're saying how music went out faster in the '90s, but
Faster than the '80s,
and faster than the
definitely,
'80s. But
definitely.
today, music is more mobile today than it was then.
And I believe they want you to think that, but music is actually in a smaller space than it's ever been. The major
Um,
companies and the major productions are able to put their music that they want out in an incredibly fast way.
they can
Their
put it out in a
artists,
fast way, but
can we agree that SoundCloud rappers don't have near the traction they had 4 years ago, 5 years ago, before the pandemic?
I have to disagree, and I
So
can tell you why.
name a SoundCloud artist who's come out in the last 4 to 5 years
I
and
mean,
really
but I
hit.
think that, but I think that, but I think that success looks different for so many different people though. Like if you're
No,
talking
it
like, but
doesn't, because look
wait.
at what
But
Sexy Red
if
has
you're
done.
saying
Sexy Red,
number one heat, if you're saying number one hit,
yes, I'm talking
I
about
can't think
Sexy
of none.
Red. Sexy
Sexy
Red was
Red, this
able.
is her second or third album though. This
Doesn't
one right
matter.
here.
It doesn't matter your number of albums. What matters is who finds it. She was able to find executive producers that could get it to the majors. And once the majors took it, the ball just started rolling.
I
Just start rolling.
I think Sexy Red is an anomaly. That's just my honest opinion. She's
You
an
think?
anomaly. Yeah, yeah.
What's his name? What's the young guy who's in
She's an
prison
anomaly.
now? What was the shooter cooter? What is his name? The little young guy who's in prison now. He had the one hit. Oh man. Again, you guys had to forgive me. I got to get us a producer on here who can pull this stuff up quickly. But there was a rapper that we listened to a few years ago. He had a really big hit. He was he out of Chicago or Detroit? Little guy.
Oh, Shiesty?
Yes, Shiesty. That
Shiesty.
dude was he an anomaly? Was
No,
Bobby
he wasn't.
Schmurder an anomaly? I don't
No,
believe
he
in
wasn't.
anomalies anymore. I believe in
I do.
calculations.
I do. And
Calculations
I do.
are
No,
the record
it's the
company
anomalies.
executives say, I want you to make this music. I want you to make this music, this type of music. When you bring it back to me,
Sexy Red's hit was an anomaly. It was an anomaly. And I'm gonna tell you why. Normally songs like that are at the end of albums. Always have been. They've been songs like that never you can't Too Loud Crew Me So Horny is not as bad as that Sexy Red song.
you're totally correct. But don't forget the
But
precursor. Don't forget, hold on. The precursor to her music was Throat Babies. Don't forget Throat Babies.
Strawberries. But
Yes.
it wasn't a hit though.
It was a huge hit. Throat Babies did great. It sold, I'm pretty sure Throat Babies as a single sold 1 million. Let me check.
I don't
Throat
think so.
Babies, I think, went platinum.
I don't think so.
I'm checking now.
I'm telling you, Sexy Red is an anomaly. Sexy Red is my. You're just thinking about Sexy Red is an anomaly. Trust me, she's an anomaly.
All right. How much did it sell? Here we go.
But okay, so but let's just go back to the point of
Yes, we got to get back on track.
to the point.
We
Okay,
veered off.
so to go back to the disc record.
And then we're gonna move right on after this. Not only did it go platinum, it went double platinum. It sold 2 million at 2 million singles.
Who's the artist?
Huh?
The
What is
artist.
this dude's name?
And when did it come out?
DRS Cash. Throat
When did it
Baby.
come out?
2020.
I
It was
I don't
terrible.
remember. I don't remember it.
But
But
I'm
this,
just telling you that was the precursor, and I can show you a few more songs that have that background. But we're not delving into that. I still want to get back to my favorite lines of the song, and I want to talk about his YN Melly verse. I thought that was brilliant. I thought his FUBU verse was brilliant, and You Can't Say Niggas No More verse was brilliant.
I
I said it. I got to bleep that out on YouTube.
I think that I don't know. I had a lot of expectations for him, and for him to bring up the ghostwriting. I feel like bringing up ghostwriting to on Drake for me is getting played out. If you're going to mention it, mention the ghostwriters
He
because
did, didn't he say Yachty? He said Yachty.
he said
I
Yachty
didn't know
can't give you
Yachty was
swag.
writing for him.
Yeah, I knew that, but okay, so I like that. I like the fact he
The
said Yachty,
underground legend, people.
but I like the fact he did. Okay, he mentioned Yachty, which I like, but Yachty is not writing all of Drake's music.
No,
So give me other names outside of Yachty. That's where I'm at. Like if you're gonna say the man's ghostwriting, give me everybody that's ghostwriting because even with that line, he said Yachty can't give you swag. Okay, so if Yachty's writing his stuff, who's to say Yachty ain't writing none of these diss records?
no
So
doubt.
diss Yachty, diss the people who's right,
Why are you
diss
gonna diss the
Yachty,
reference artist? You don't
diss
want
a
to. You don't.
Yachty.
But why you gonna diss Quentin Miller, Yachty when they're just doing something to make money? They're being
Man, listen,
asked to help a machine make money.
listen. But the purpose of a diss is to attack another individual, right? Attack all of them. Get it a
Well, he did say
a
in the
proper diss
rap that
record
he
though. A proper diss is you're trying to end someone's career, right?
not nowadays.
I
Not
mean, but
nowadays.
I'm saying a proper disc. I'm not just saying nowadays. I'm just saying period. A proper disc period is to hurt someone's career.
And if
Kumo D, Kumo D tried it with LL. He failed, and look what happened to Kumo. When LL won that, Kumo D took a step down. LL and Cannabis had to take a step down. So
yes,
Ice Cube and Common. Ooh, Common took a step back for a little while. People won't admit it, but Common took a step back for a little while
I can't
until he got
call
with
that a diss.
LL.
I don't want to
But
delve too much into that. You can't call that a diss. I would call that an ambush because Ice
okay,
Cube tried to make something out of I used to love her that
right.
really was no diss. It was no
It
diss.
wasn't. It wasn't. But I
So
mean,
I don't like that one. That
I
one
mean,
is that was an ambush.
but for me,
Yeah.
I would love the intensity of dissing the ghostwriters. I think it's something fresh, it's something new, it's
Yes.
something different, and I
Yes.
think that the people would love it because it's so unexpected. What other line he had? The loving, it's just the love fest just bothered me. It just bothered me. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. But everything he said at the beginning of the song, I don't know the lines. I don't have them up, but I love the whole beginning. That whole
The whole first section.
the whole first section, the way
So
he
yeah,
said
that's
it,
what your FUBU, the whole first section.
The Teddy Pendergrass sample, and the way he said it. I loved all that, and it was like he should have stayed in this lane. She should. I have the perfect video. I wish I could sit and talk to Kendrick. I could give him the perfect map out the perfect video for this song, and I'm telling you, it would hit so hard.
Yes. But I'm looking here. That's what you got your Terrence Crawford references.
I
That's where
didn't
you get your
understand that
FUBU
either. I
references.
didn't understand what he meant by that.
You didn't? Okay, so
No,
we can walk through this before we I just want to remember the first guy's name. So he's Drake, not Drake. So Kendrick was saying he was Ken was he was Terrence Crawford.
which I
And
get.
then if you look up who Terrence Thornton
It's
is
Pusha T.
that's what I'm saying. He's saying you
I
won't
get that.
okay, and then that's pushing T came right off that line. It says F all the Pusha P, let me see you push a T. And that's when he goes into you better spin it again on him. You think about pushing me. He's Terrence Thornton saying his real name. And
Right.
I'm Terrence Crawford, the undefeated fighter who just knocked his last opponent's brains out. If
I'm
that makes
whooping
sense.
feet. I'm
Huh?
whooping feet. What's the whooping
So
feet?
yeah, that's a quadruple entendre that I'm not that familiar with. And then he goes into the I know some S about ends that makes gonna being, gonna, you know,
Right. No, no. I mean, but the whooping feet part, I
yeah, I
didn't
didn't
get the
get
whooping
that at
feet part.
all, but I'm pretty sure it has some
Um,
meaning to it if we look it up a little further.
he said it didn't, and then it was like I think that for me it was confusion. It was like confusion, and I don't want to say contradiction, but it was like a lot of confusion when he said, "Let's not make this personal. We're
This ain't
friends,
been the critics.
but
This
you're
is
not
gonna
raising your
be
son." Then he'll
yes,
just say, "You're not raising your son." That's
yes.
I'm confused. I'm like
Subliminal diss because again, before that, he says, we ain't gotta get personal. This is a
right,
friendly fade. You
right.
could keep it that way. So again, we're in. I know what you want to hear, and again, I said that earlier, and we're gonna keep it moving because we have pushed this a lot further than we should. We've already said if you are a hip hop art a hip hop person, and when you are a hip hop person, this may not fulfill your needs because these gentlemen are handling this in a different way. But all three of them have in 50 push-ups, Dre let J. Cole off the hook after the apology after 7 minutes, let Kendrick off the hook, and now we have Kendrick letting J. Cole off the hook. So again, these guys are doing this thing in a way we just don't understand. So what I would say is we have to, and this is the last part of the conversation I think that really is going to matter. Question is, and I'm gonna answer it first. Are you looking at this as a hip hop fan, a fan of rap, or a DJ? So I'm going to step in and we're going to let Kev anchor this one. And before we get out of here, I'm looking at this as a DJ first. As a DJ, I'm saying that 50 push-ups wins. I'm saying that the Taylor freestyle wins because I can spin those in the club. As a fan of hip hop, which I am, Euphoria wins all day, every day, because what it gives the culture, the genre, whatever you want to say, it gives us that base where we came from. As a person who doesn't care for rap, all of this is whack to me because, like Kev said earlier, nobody's trying to cut anybody's neck off. I'm gonna leave it at that, Kev. You anchor this bad boy out because I'm about to get a migraine.
I mean, overall, I think it's a great thing for rap music as a whole. No matter what you think about the song, it's not a club song at all. The radios might play it because it's getting all the attention at the moment. But for the hip hop crowd or for the rap crowd, which which I think is different. It's two different crowds, which we can talk about later. But I think it's phenomenal for both crowds. I think that this is what we needed. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. The fact that we can sit here and discuss lyrics, like not too many people are discussing lyrics like that. You know what I mean? They're not pulling up lyrics. They're not breaking down what this means, what this said, why'd he say this, how he could have said this better. You're not getting that at all. And to be honest with you, the crowd that was doing it was the hip hop homer crowd, like the people who really are really into rap, and know that and know that rap is more than music. It's a legitimate art form. Those people used to do this, like, you know what I mean. Like, they used to sit there. Oh, a song came out, a song, a song that got a lot of attention. Okay, let's break down why this song is so great. And that's where we're at with this. You know what I'm saying? So for some people, this is new, but for a lot of underground rap fans, this is not new because this is something that's been going on. So to kind of bring to the forefront something that a lot of people were not used to, I think is great. I think it's great. It don't matter what you think about the song. I think if you don't celebrate the song's impact, something is wrong with you, because we need stuff like this. We need this. We need this. It's like the focus is great. The attention is great. The Every media platform that's talking about this song is outstanding, because we haven't had this in, look, God knows how long. I mean, some people might say, well, it's a rap beef. So what? Who cares? These guys are not doing nothing. They're not gonna fight. They're not gonna shoot at each other. They're not gonna do what 50 Cent did to Ja Rule, which is buy up all these damn tickets so it looked like the guy ain't had nobody come to the show. They're not doing that. They might even be backstage at each other shows. You know what I'm saying? But they the fact that they went in the studio and recorded a song, even though you have no plans on releasing the album, I think is phenomenal. And I think we should celebrate it. I think we should root everybody on and ask for more. When's the reply? Who's going to reply next? And when is it going to drop? They say Drake is up next. But Drake, hurry up. Hurry up and do it, because we have to celebrate this, and we have to realize that we have no idea when this will happen again. We don't have none, because a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of the beef today is sneak dissing. And sneak dissing is, I mean, it's unnecessary. Sneak dissing is unnecessary. It's like, what are you doing? Say it. Just get the name out so we know. Sneak dissing, you got to know this artist. You got to know this artist. You got to know their problem with this other guy to understand what they're saying. And nobody's breaking down your lyrics anyway. So it's unfortunate. Let's this is the way to go. Call somebody's name out, get the media's attention. Then that all that buzz going to your song. Now your streaming numbers go up, your record sales go up, your concerts are selling out. And call the person up and say, hey, yeah, I dissed you, but let's not fight about
Exactly.
it.
Hey
Yeah,
man, we
so
appreciate you all day, every day, Kev. To the fans, we hope that you enjoyed this conversation. We really be trying to put it out there for you. I will say this as we leaving out of here: this beef will never die as long as Nikki is an active rapper, because she's got beef with everybody. So,
and I
uh,
love it.
and
I
that's
love
what I
it.
need. We need that. Keeping people on their toes matters, and we look forward to talking with you guys again. Please check us out again on all social media platforms at Mix Era Rap, and we'll be posting. This will be posted on all of those sites. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate you. We out of here. Peace.